Have you ever wanted to escape from everyday life? Take your mind away from the hustle and bustle and be in a place where nobody knows your name? Every day, thousands of people set out to enjoy this special place of solace amongst the great giant cottonwoods, tranquil open space areas, and gentle wildlife. It's a hidden recreational amenity that's been a part of the region's landscape for many generations. The destination is the Highline Canal Trail.
This is an absolutely beautiful place. It's being at one with nature right in the middle of the city, you know, and it's particularly nice that they're running some water right now. It's good to see the trees getting irrigated and so forth, you know, so it's just a great place to get away.
I've been using the trail for about 11 years. I've watched my kids grow up on it. We would come with a stroller, and now it's my major dog walking venue.
I think the Highline Canal is such an amenity today for the community because anytime you have a green belt that's this long, it's just going to be a great thing for the community to come out and enjoy. And it offers a place for people to recreate. You know, you see people along the canal all the time, whether they're just walking their dog or whether they're into their fitness program. So it just offers a lot of opportunities for people to get out and enjoy the outdoors. And you know, it's just a piece of nature right here in the middle of the metro area. The Highline Canal starts in Waterton Canyon. It starts about 1.8 miles up into the canyon at a diversion dam there. Runs about 66 miles, starting from Douglas County, coming through Greenwood Village, Littleton, ends up in Aurora and actually out by Green Valley Ranch. So the Highline was built to carry about 1,200 cubic feet per second of water, which is quite a bit of water. It actually only had the capacity to do about 600. And when we run water in it now, it only carries about 120 cubic feet per second. So if you think of 120 basketballs rolling past at once, that would kind of be the equivalent of 120 cubic feet per second. The canal runs about 2 feet deep on average when we run it.
The construction of the Highline Canal dates back to the late 1800s, when a group of ambitious private land developers set out to build an irrigation ditch. Their intentions, to make a buck from selling water to settlers and farmers, didn't quite have the outcome they hoped for.
It's called the Highline Canal because it's got a very gradual drop in flow, and it helps control the water evenly as it goes down. So the canal was built in 1880. Built by a Scotsman by the name of James Duff, who had come to the Denver area in the 1870s. And he bought 120,000 acres worth of surplus railroad land and decided he wanted to build an irrigation canal to help expand the agriculture area in the southern part of what was then the early parts of Denver. And only 25,000 acres was ever put into cultivation. So originally they looked at building a canal of 81 miles. It only got 71 miles ever at its longest point. It took 3 years to construct, finished in 1883. So construction on the canal, you can think about those days. It was all heavy hand labor and mules. Workers were brought in, they were paid $1 a day to do the heavy hard labor on that canal. The folks that owned the canal originally decided they needed to build a reservoir to supply a more consistent flow. And they looked in the South Park area and looked at an area that they called Antero, and they started to build a reservoir up there. And the first construction on that began, and the company that started that originally went bankrupt. And right after the turn of the century in the 1900s, they started up construction again under a different company's name and built the Antero Reservoir. And that was supposed to be able to supply the Highline with a consistent amount of water at all the times that they needed. Unfortunately, the original Antero Reservoir was built for a size that it never could hold. The state engineer's office at that point wouldn't allow it to hold the amount of water that they thought it could, because it was a safety issue at that point. And so at the same time, the city of Denver began to get very interested in supplying municipal water to the growing population of Denver. And as that population grew, our original amounts of water that the city of Denver had weren't sufficient, and so they looked elsewhere, and they saw Antero and the Highline Canal as an opportunity to purchase some irrigation water and convert it to municipal water and use it for the citizens.
In 1915, Denver Water decided to purchase the canal and its water rights to serve irrigators during normal weather years. But acquiring water for the canal continued to be a challenge even for the city's water company.
Ultimately, in 1918, Denver Water was formed and took all of the assets from the Denver Union Water Company, and those were combined with the Highline Canal and Antero, and that was the start of Denver Water as we know it right now. So the water issues have always been a part of the Highline Canal. The Platte River that supplies it originally had such tremendous seasonable variability in the flows that they never got the water that they expected they would get at the outset. Landowners on the canal paid $1.50 for every acre of land that they owned, and very often all of the canal landowners didn't get the water that they were expecting. And so as those seasonable flows happened and droughts came, which were often a reality just as they are now, the canal was quite often dry. They had to deal with different levels of water and different numbers of folks on the canal that got water. So very often those folks had crops that failed and never got crops in the ground.
After 46 more years of dry spells in the canal, Denver Water decided to open the trail to the public for recreation in 1970.
And so Denver Water, prior to that, it was primarily, or actually solely, for the purpose of irrigation and running water. And I think you'll agree that it's been a great thing for the community to have such a recreational facility like the Highline.
Greenwood Village resident Natalie Malloy has lived in the village for 55 years. Natalie says she has fond memories of the Highline Canal and how this waterway entertained her children growing up.
We had 6 children, 3 girls and 3 boys, so from 3 to 12. And the kids really enjoyed the canal. Bobby, our middle son, he built a dock. The Denver Water Board didn't say anything about it, but anyhow, they could, tie their inner tubes in their boats and so forth. And he ended up building a boat, and they would go down the canal, and actually they would know when the water, they'd find out when they're going to release the water from the flume. And so they would haul their stuff as far as they could go south so that they could come on the first water, that the canal brought in. Down at the corner, the far south corner, there's a big cottonwood tree. And so that became the tree that got a platform that they built. They had a swing, a rope swing, that they could swing out. John, our oldest boy, he was very macho, in his teens, 15 or 16. And he went charging down to the corner, grabbed the rope, and it broke. Into the canal he went, right in front of these girls he was trying to impress. It was great adventures for them and kept them busy.
Today, the canal's lack of water continues to pestilence water right owners. A long-term strategy with key partners has been identified to protect this urban escape and identify alternative sources of water for the future.
So the Highline Canal and Denver Water does still service some irrigation customers on the canal. And so we do run water for that purpose, and also to feed the trees, really, to water the trees and to keep things running as far as that goes. The last 22 miles of the canal we quit running water in 2011 just as an efficiency factor. We don't have any more service to that end of the canal because we don't have any customers that need water past that point. The more water we can save and conserve, obviously, the more we have to use in those lean times and those drought seasons. So Denver Water has partnered with local municipalities to provide the recreational resource that it is today. So they come out and do a lot of the day-to-day operation. They put up signage and site amenities, benches and trash receptacles. There's a Highline working group that meets quarterly, and we get together and talk about everything from safety issues to signage to just general operational items on the canal. And one of the things that we're looking forward to is having those discussions about what do we do long term with the canal if it's not an efficient means to distribute water in the community. What other possibilities can it hold? Obviously, it's a huge green belt and a huge recreational facility for the metro area, so we want to respect that and obviously continue to build on that.
The Highline Canal Trail is designated as a National Landmark Trail, and its reputation continues to grow as a popular spot for walking, hiking, mountain biking, jogging, rollerblading, and horseback riding. With access close to your home or office, the Highline Canal Trail offers some of the best urban and rural scenery in the region. And the only prerequisite for exploring is a good pair of sneakers.
I actually live up in Castle Pines, which is about a 20-minute drive from here, and this time of year our leaves aren't even leafed out yet, so it's kind of nice to come down here and experience spring, where we don't have it up there yet because we're a little bit higher altitude. But even throughout the summer I drive this 20 minutes just to walk on this canal. It's beautiful, the trees are beautiful, it's plopped in the middle of the city in this wonderful setting. It's amazing that this is even here.
Oh, there's so many things about the trail. I think my favorite part about the trail is the barn that I passed, because the photographers come and they take all kinds of photos of families.
There's not a lot of people who use this trail. People that do use it are very friendly. They say hi to everybody. It's a great place to bring kids to ride bikes. The trail is very wide. You're not worried about your child running to the other side, hitting people, because it's such a great place to ride bikes too.
I love looking at the mountains and the sunset. I feel a real connection with God when I walk on the trail.